I am now 150 pages into I sat here wanting to pull my hair out because I was like, what? This. Oh, oops, okay. Hold on. Is this? Hello everyone, I thought I would update on where I am in Wildfire. This is obviously the first book I'm reading out of the series that I'm in the middle of, and also please ignore the fact that one of my nails has come off. I will be redoing it for the weekend, but currently I'm not about to do it. I'm also at work. I think I've said in previous videos, I work from home, so this is currently on my lunch break where I do love to read as well. So I thought I'd give a quick update on thoughts where I am in this one before I get back into it. I'm only 107 pages in and I started this last night. So far, it's okay. I don't really have anything crazy to say about it, to be honest. I enjoyed Icebreaker, but it wasn't a favourite of mine. It wasn't anything amazing. It didn't stick with me. It's definitely not one of my favourite books. The main reason I picked this one as the first one in this video is because I really want to read Daydream. I've heard so many things, and I know they're technically standalones and I can just read Daydream if I wanted and skip this one, but because I already have the physical copy, I'm like, I may as well just read it. So that is why this was my first one. Also, the last few books have been fantasy, and I feel like I need a palette cleanser because some of the books on my, like some of the series, sorry, I'm in the middle of are fantasy, so I feel like start it off with a quick, easy, light read, and then I can get into the heavier fantasy books next. So if you're unaware of what Wildfire is about, it basically follows a girl called Aurora and a guy called Russ. They meet at this sort of college party. They end up sleeping together on the first night, and then they both go the next day to work at a sort of like a summer camp where they don't realise the other one's going to be there, and then they're sort of forced together. So it's kind of like forced proximity in that aspect. I wouldn't say I'm loving it. I will say I feel like Daddy Issues is the plot right now. Like, that is the sponsor of this book because we've got a lot about it. Yeah, the family relationships aren't great. Aurora's dad is quite a big F1. I think he runs an F1 company, I believe, or is somehow involved in F1, but he's basically got a new wife and sort of has a new kid and is very involved with that part of his life, not very involved with her, and it sort of obviously has quite an effect on her and her relationships with people and how she processes rejection and just like different things in day-to-day life. And then Russ's dad is a gambling addict, and it sort of shows like his situation and how he handles that in everyday life. So it is really interesting. Obviously it's not nice and it's not a nice topic, and it is quite sad to read about when you're in their point of views and you sort of see how these relationships with their fathers have impacted them as a person and their life and like how they handle different situations. But it's just very full on. I feel like it's very, here's the person, here's the trauma. Like, there's not been much of a build. I don't know how to word it, but these are not my favourite type of books, and I wasn't expecting to love this. I feel like I will love Daydream. Sorry, a tractor just went past. I feel like I will love Daydream based on what I've heard, but this one, I know a few people said it wasn't their favourite, and I think this is probably going to be the case for me. But do you know what? It's fast paced, it's not bad, it's a fun, light-hearted read. Like, there's parts and I'm laughing, like, it is not unenjoyable, it's just definitely not my favourite type of book. But I'm excited to get it done, I'm excited to finish it. And also it's got short chapters, it's not much brain power, and I feel like it's needed before I go into some of the other books that are on the list to get through this video. So I will update you and let you know how I get on. I thought I would update on my thoughts on Wildfire because I'm now on page 189, so I'm nearly halfway through. To be honest, my opinion is still pretty much the same. I'm not loving it. I just can't really connect to them. I feel like every time I feel like one of them is maturing a bit or becoming more understanding, it flips back and then something happens, and I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just a bit unsure, to be honest. I'm not loving it, to be honest. There's things happening and I'm just sort of like, okay, whatever, reading on, reading on. I don't really know where the plot is going, because I feel like obviously it's just a romance, so there's not like, it's not like a fantasy, it's not like a thriller, but I feel like it's just a bit dull currently. So I'm not too sure what to expect. I think I've already said sort of the premise of the book, but yeah, they're basically at a summer camp. So now obviously the kids have arrived and stuff, and I don't know what they're like the mentors, I guess you'd call them. So they're sort of doing their jobs and stuff, and they're obviously spending a lot of time together. But yeah, I wouldn't say I'm captivated, I wouldn't say I'm engrossed in the story, I wouldn't say I believe in their love either. I think because they slept together within the first like 2 chapters, obviously that is the plot of like the whole story of like the start of their story, sorry, but that for me isn't my favourite that isn't my favourite romance, when it's physical before emotional, and I feel like the emotional side just isn't hitting for me. Sometimes it can redeem itself if the emotional side is done well. I just feel like I'm not vibing with it. It's just not for me. So I'm hoping it will I will change my mind. I'm hoping it will pick up a bit. Currently I'd say we're at a 2.53. I'm sort of just excited to finish it, and I feel like that says a lot. Normally I'm excited to finish it, but I don't want it to end at the same time. I'm just quite excited to finish it currently, but I don't want to DNF it. I want to try and finish this because I do want to read Daydream at some point. So hopefully this picks up, because where I'm at currently, it's not quite hitting for me. Good evening. You might be thinking, Sasha, you've not moved. It's actually the next night. I haven't updated at all today because I was trying to power through Wildfire and I actually did finish it. I wish I was coming to you with a really positive turnaround. I'm sadly not. This was a 2 stars for me. It just wasn't it for me. There are a lot of things I could say. Not a lot of them are good. I found it quite cringeworthy in a lot of spaces, and I am aware. Well, actually, it's not a YA, is it? I don't think it actually is. Yeah, not intended for younger readers. But yeah, I just felt like it was quite cringe, and I just didn't feel invested in either Russ or Aurora. There were parts where I thought, okay, this is picking up, but then something would happen and it would throw me right back off. I really had not the highest of hopes, because I wasn't the biggest fan of Icebreaker, but I still had slightly higher hopes than what I got from this. But I will be picking up Daydream. Don't think it'll be in this video, just because I think I've need a bit of a break, just so I don't end up not enjoying it, and it's because of this book, if that makes sense. So I feel like I need a break, and then I'll use Daydream as a good palette cleanser. But from what everyone said, I think I will prefer it to this one, because yeah, as I said, this one for me, it just didn't hit. I found the characters quite insufferable at times. There were things where I was just cringing a lot at what they were saying. I feel like the sponsor of the book was daddy issues, and that is pretty much the whole premise of the book, which it kind of is the whole point of their like trauma, and as I've said, you see how it affects them. But it was like, it hit a point where I was thinking, take a shot every time someone mentions daddy issues, because anyway, it was actually quite painful to get through, to be honest. I think I was about 50 pages left, maybe not even that. I think I had like 20 pages left, and I ended up just skimming the end, if I'm honest, because I couldn't do it. So unfortunately, this was a 2-star. I'm hoping the next book I pick to continue in a series is a little bit better. I am about to start the Atlas Complex, which I am so excited for. I've got it on my Kindle. I was going to start with the physical book, but I just thought, you know what, No, I want comfort when I'm in bed. I also have a Kindle stand and a clicker over there, so I can just click away if I don't even want to hold it, which is ideal. Okay, I started to look at the synopsis on Goodreads. It actually wasn't that great, so I'm going to just read you the back of the first book, which is The Atlas Six. So it just says 6 extraordinary magicians, 5 chances to win, 1 secret society. Once a decade, the world's best magicians are invited to join the elite I always butcher this, Alexandrian Society. I might be saying that wrong. Its members enjoy a lifetime of power and access to ancient secrets, but only 5 places are offered, so after recruitment by the mysterious Atlas Blakely, the candidates must complete a rigorous year of arcane study. Libby Rhodes and Nico de Verona are inseparable enemies and cosmologists, sorry, I can't read certain words out loud, I swear, who can control matter with their minds. Parissa Camilla is a telepath, Raina Mori understands the flow of life itself, and Callum Nova can manipulate desires. Finally, there's Tristan Kane, whose powers mystify even himself. The rivals must survive their trials, and if they can prove themselves, they will. Most of them. So, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an insight as to what the premise of the book is about. It's incredible. It is definitely not an easy read. There's a lot to it, there's a lot to understand. I much prefer reading it, where's my Kindle? On the Kindle, because obviously if you aren't sure of what a word means, or you aren't sure of like what context it could be used in, you can hold it down and highlight it and it will obviously tell you like the dictionary and the pronunciation and stuff. So I much prefer reading this series on my Kindle. Just a heads up. Also, they might be on Kindle Unlimited. The third one, The Atlas Complex, which I'm reading now, was 99p in February. So if you haven't read it and you want to get it on your Kindle, get it now. And I think the others were the same or on Kindle Unlimited, I can't remember. I think the first one might be on Kindle Unlimited, so definitely check it out. But honestly, it's an amazing series. It is so well written, the storyline is incredible. Like Olivia Blake, yeah, is just so good at creating such a magical world. And to be honest, when I read this I felt smart, because there is a lot to it and it's definitely not the lightest of fantasies, but also if you do decide to pick up the physical copies, they all have amazing artwork, which I'm just obsessed with. I enjoyed when I first read it, like figuring out like whose artwork was whose and like all that kind of stuff. So I would definitely recommend picking up the books, which I think they are in the works if you are going to look into it. But anyway, now that you kind of understand what kind of book this is, I will obviously be giving updates as I go along on how I'm enjoying it, but I definitely won't be going into the plot, the storyline, anything that's happening in the book, because obviously it is the third in a series. None of the books I read in this video will be spoken about plot wise, it will just be my thoughts and opinions. So don't worry, there won't be any spoilers, but I'm hoping this one hits. The first one I rated I think a 4.5, the second one didn't hit as much for me. I felt like it was a bit too long and I felt like the plot kind of got lost a little bit, and I think I rated that like a 3, and then I'm hoping this one will be at least a 4 because I'm anticipating good things. So fingers crossed it does what I hope it does, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. Hello everyone, I have not updated in a few days. I think my last update was on Thursday. It is now Sunday, because on Friday I was in London with a friend of mine in the evening and we were drinking, and then Saturday I was severely hungover. Well, severely hungover. I wasn't even really hungover, I was just exhausted. We barely slept. It was just a long evening and I didn't want to read. Well, I say I didn't want to read. I actually audiobooked The Atlas Complex. So I was listening to it yesterday, but due to being so tired, I really didn't read, well, listen or audiobook much. So there wasn't really much to update on yesterday, and I was also just very fragile. I couldn't bear picking up the camera speaking. So that is why it's been a few days. I am now 150 pages into... Oh my god, look at the artwork I just came across. I'm now 150 pages into The Atlas Complex. I am really enjoying it. I've pretty much audiobooked this whole chunk, which I'm actually quite glad I have. I feel like I'm quite enjoying the audiobook, if I'm honest, especially because I haven't read this series in a while, so I feel like it's easier to digest, and I've also liked doing things whilst obviously listening to the audio. percentage wise, because I also have it on my Kindle, I've literally got every form of this book. I'm 23% in apparently, so I feel like we're good, we're getting there. I feel like we've got like we've caught up on where everyone is. Obviously at the book 2, I won't obviously say what happened, but book 2 obviously everyone's left at a certain point, it's like a bit of a cliffhanger, and then obviously book 3, I'm quite glad they've done it. It's like the first few chapters in each person's point of view has been like a catch up in like where they are and like what they're now doing. So I think that's really helped me sort of get back into the world, because like I said, it's been a few months and it isn't the most simplest fantasy world building book ever, so I feel like you do need to know the premise of like and like what's going on. I did also watch a summary of book 2 on TikTok prior to starting it, and I think that really helped as well, because I really forgot how many plot holes there were coming out of book 2. So I'm hoping we get all of these covered in book 3. Currently not much is happening. There's at the end of book 2 there's like a big thing they're trying to sort out and figure out and fix in a way, and like you don't really know where they're going to go with it. Currently we've not had any answers in regards to that. We're sort of just, yeah, we've dipped our toe into where each character is currently. We sort of know where they are, what they're up to, what they're trying to do, and I feel like now hopefully is when it will start to pick up and the actual plot will start to develop, because we haven't had much so far. But I'm still really enjoying it, but I do love the characters. Obviously it's the 3rd book, I already know a lot about the world, where the situation is and stuff, so I feel like now we're ready for the plot to really pick up.
Smells that kind
Good morning. It is actually now Tuesday and I don't think I updated at all yesterday. Sorry. I was exhausted yesterday, but I did manage to read quite a bit. Well, I actually have been audiobooking the majority of this because I'm struggling. I'm struggling a bit. I am about, let me just check the percentage on my Kindle, because obviously I've got this on every form. About, yeah, 60% through. That there. So I've read this much. We have this much left. And as much as I've loved being back in this world, being back with these characters, because I do love them all, and I love the story and just the plot and the way the first 2 books went. The first one was my favourite, the second was okay, and then this one, I'm feeling the same as the second. I feel like it's okay, but I'm 60% in and nothing has happened. I feel like nothing has happened. Like, we know where all the characters are. We've been told sort of like where their mindsets are, what they plan to sort of do, where their heads are at in regards to their current situation, which obviously I'm not going to go into because it's obviously the 3rd one in the series, but nothing has happened. Like, nothing has happened. And I'm sort of just thinking, I don't know, unless I'm just stupid and I've just completely missed it, but I'm just reading and like they're moving around and like they're talking about what outcomes they want and, you know, X, Y and Z of the situations, but in the sense of like what's happening, what plot, there is none. And I'm a bit lost and I'm struggling, if I'm honest, because it's putting me a bit in like a slump. Like, I'm just not excited to pick this up because nothing is happening and I'm just getting really frustrated, if I'm honest. And I'm like, I've got 40% left. If something doesn't start to happen right now, I might have to just put it down for a bit because I feel like it's going to send me sideways. But I did check on the audiobook and I only have 4 hours and 25 minutes left of the audio. So I think I could finish it today because I'm going to go on a walk on my lunch break, so I'll be listening to that for like the hour of my lunch, and then hopefully that gives me like 3 hours, and then I can sort of listen throughout the day here and there. If I'm honest, I just want it done, which I thought I'd be like, oh my god, like going crazy like the plot would be plotting, but it's just not. I just feel really bored. Which is sad because I love being with these characters, but they're just not doing anything. But yeah, that is my current update. That's kind of why I also haven't really updated much, because obviously, like I said, nothing's been happening. Like, it's just so-and-so's here, so-and-so's there, these people are texting, this is happening, this is his thought process, this is what they want to happen, but in the sense of like what is actually happening, nothing. So hopefully I will come back and I've either finished this or it's started to pick up, and I'll have a bit of a positive thought, because currently it's sat at like a 3, which to be honest is a generous 3, but it's because I love the characters that it's a 3. If I didn't enjoy the characters, I feel like this would be a 2, if that puts it into perspective, which is just a bit disheartening because the first book is incredible. The second book is also good, but it just wasn't as good as the first, and then I feel like it's just gone downhill since the first book for me, and I'm really hoping the end can sort of salvage this. But I think even if the ending does sort of pull it back, it probably won't get more than like a 3.5 right now, because I can't justify the fact that 60% and nothing has happened. Also, I'd just like to say I'm not the only person that feels this way. I actually was looking at the Goodreads reviews. Well, I was just on the Goodreads like thing for the book, and the average rating of this book is 2.8, which is obviously extremely low, and it does have 23,000 ratings. And I'm looking, because the thing is, there are people that I follow, and I don't know if you probably do all know Madison. She was the reason that I sort of read this series, and she loves it, and she gave it 5 stars. And a friend of mine, Alex, she loved it and rated it 5 stars. So I'm like, some people did love it. I just think I didn't. But then the next like 3 reviews I'm seeing is 1 star, 1 star, 2 star. Like, there's just not, like, 1 star. I'm trying obviously not to read anything that's spoiling, but yeah, everyone's just saying like 2 star, 3 star, 2 star. There are some, like, there we go, like 5 star here. Some of them, obviously I'm just skimming right now because I don't want to see anything that ruins the ending, but it's not put me off her as an author, but I'm just a bit disappointed about this because I was just so excited. So hopefully, pray for me, I will have a more positive update soon. Good evening. I've now finished work and I thought I would update on where I am. Obviously I listened to the audiobook on my walk today and I've been listening to it here and there, so I actually only have an hour and 41 minutes left of the audiobook. So I'm feeling hopeful, because it's only 5:30, that we can finish this book today, which I'm very, very happy for. I've enjoyed it, but yeah, the plot, I feel like more has happened since I obviously was complaining, I think in the last clip, saying literally nothing was happening. Stuff has happened, but a very small percentage of stuff. Like, certain things have happened. There was one kind of big thing, but I feel like that was kind of it. That was it. And now I'm a bit confused what is going to happen in the next hour and 40 minutes. I think either everything's going to hit the fan, or I'm going to get the same situation where nothing's going to happen. So hopefully, in a way, I kind of want everything to hit the fan. But I've only got, as I said, an hour and 40 minutes left, so I'm going to listen to that whilst I do a bit of colouring, because I need something to do whilst I listen. I've only done a few. Oh, I actually haven't finished. Okay, I was going to say I don't know which one I want to do, but turns out I never finished this one. So I think that is the vibe. I'm not very good at colouring. I'm sure you've all seen the TikTok colourers who are insane, and they make everything look amazing, and they do all the like patchwork quilts, and they like do all these crazy designs, and they make their colouring look incredible. Mine is not like that at all. I think I only have like one other one. This is one that I finished, which actually I did try to do like a wood effect on the tree, but that's the extent of my skill. Oh, and I did this one, if you're wondering. But yeah, I'm not the most skilled, but do you know what? I find it really entertaining and just fun to do whilst I'm listening, especially to an audiobook. So that is what I'm now going to do. finally say I finished it. I am so glad that's done. And I'm so disappointed. Oh my gosh. If you've read this series, maybe you'll have a different experience and opinion to me, but book number 1, phenomenal. So good, couldn't fault it, flew through it. It was amazing. Book 2, kind of fell off a bit, but I still enjoyed it. I still felt like it was good, it just didn't quite hit the same as book 1. This I was hoping would be the saving grace. This I was hoping would bring my love back. It didn't. I genuinely, hand on heart, believe I read 500 pages. This wasn't actually needed. Nothing happened. Pretty much nothing happened. Minus probably 2 things that could have been done within 100 pages. Like we just got the same thing or the same point described and explained in every single person's point of view. I just feel like it was 500 pages of nothing. And I'm so heartbroken because I went into the series loving it and I had such high hopes, and I'd put this off because number 1, I didn't want the series to end, and number 2, I was waiting for the paperback. And the minute this paperback was released at the end of January, I was so excited. It was a priority. I was just so excited to read it, and it wasn't, yeah, I can't really explain it. I feel like it was such a mission. I did actually listen to majority of this, as you know, as I've said today. I pretty much listened to the whole other 50%. So the first 50% I did sort of audio and Kindle, and the last 50% was predominantly literally just audiobook. I've just been sat either colouring on my iPad or colouring in general, trying to get through it because I just had to get it done. I couldn't bear to go into tomorrow still having this book left because just nothing happened. Nothing happened. Oh my god, if you've read this, please let me know your thoughts. I've looked on Goodreads, a lot of people felt the same way. A lot of people were disappointed. Some people loved it, and that's your prerogative, that's fine. I'm really glad you did. I wish I could say I loved it. I wish I could say I sat here kicking my feet, having a good time. I sat here wanting to pull my hair out because I was like, what? Give me something. Give me something. And anytime I thought, oh, it's gonna be now, I got another chapter of nothing. So to say I'm disappointed is, yeah, I'm disappointed. But it doesn't mean I'm never going to read Olivia's work again. I definitely will. I just really hope it is better than this because this is heartbroken. Like, this has broken my heart, sorry. Also, please ignore the fact one of my nails that isn't painted, it kind of came off the other day. So, we're rocking with that. But to say I've completed that book is, yeah, it's a weight lifted off my shoulders. And if I didn't have the audio, would not be good. I don't think it would be having a good time. But anyway, on to the next read. Hallelujah. I'm so glad we're on to the next one. So I'm just having a look at this list that I've got of series in the middle of. There are some on here that I think I have forgotten some. And there are actually 2 series on here that are on my February TBR. One of them is Nightbane, the second Lightlark book, and the other one is The Winners, which is the 3rd book in the Beartown trilogy. However, after this, I'm nervous to go into anything that I'm excited for, especially the Fredrik Backman, the third book in the Beartown series, because that book is very long and I feel like I need to be in the right headspace, and I think that was such disappointment. I know that the Winners won't be a disappointment, but I just don't want anything to affect that reading experience. So, looking at my list, I know I did like a random generator last time, but I don't want to leave it up to the fate because I got that, so I'm not going through it again. So, my choice is either going to be the second book in the Sinners Anonymous trilogy. I believe it's a trilogy. It's on Kindle Unlimited. I don't have the physical copy. I just read the first one. I actually can't remember it. But they're like what's the right word? Interconnected standalones. So I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't remember the ins and outs of it. Or the Crowns of Nyaxia. I've only read the first one, and I need to read the novella, and that's only 200 pages, so I am swaying towards that because that will be a quicker read. I'm gonna see now. Sin is Anonymous. I'm gonna see now how many pages are in. How long the second one is before I decide, because this will probably be the last book because I think I really need to mood read. I really want to read the. So I've got an hoodie on, by the way. I literally look like a little snowman. I really want to read the Book of Asriel, and that is actually a book club pick of mine and my friends. There's like 3 of us, and we pick a read every month, and that is our read for this month. And obviously it already is the 18th, so I do want to get around to that quickly. Well, not quickly, but like I want to get around to it soon. I want to be reading it hopefully by this weekend. And it's Tuesday, so I feel like that's fine. But anyway, I'm now rambling, and I can't, it was not loading the Sin is Anonymous. Is that a sign that I should read the Crowns of Nyaxia? Novella? I mean, it is. To be fair, everyone's rated the novella very highly. The only thing I need to do, because I read that series 2023, so the only thing I need to do is watch a recap on TikTok. I've actually already found one and I've got it saved. So I just need to watch a recap because I just need to remember what's happening. I don't think it actually follows. I don't know if the novella actually follows on from that, or if it's a separate story. I think it might be a separate story. I'm not too sure, but I just want to recap because I can't remember. And I didn't love the first one. The first one I think I rated a 3.5, but I've heard everyone loves the novella and they love the second one, so I'm hoping that'll be my situation. Right, I don't know what it is. My Kindle is just not. Can you see? It's just not searching anything. It's just searching the Audible store. So that, you know what? I'm gonna take that as a sign. So yeah, we're going to read 6 Scorched Roses next by, I don't know, Carissa Broadbent, I believe. Okay, it actually doesn't say when I do that. Let me have a look at the cover. I just want to make sure. Yeah, Carissa Broadbent. So hopefully I will have more luck with this one. And I'm just excited to go into something new. Something that's a bit more, probably, hopefully, fast paced if it's only 200 pages. And just kind of forget about the shit show that was this experience, because actually hurts my heart. So, wish me luck. Ignore the fact my hair is a greasy mess right now. Please ignore that. I'm doing a workout class tomorrow morning, so I'm gonna wash it in the morning. But I just want to say, my favourite part of finishing a book, even one that I did not like, is this. Whoa, whoops, okay. Hold on. Is this. You can't see anything. I have a book is it Embossa? I don't know what you call it. But I got one for Christmas from my sister. So this is my favourite part, because even if I didn't like it, whew, you know that TikTok, it's like a reward. That's what it is. But let me just tell you, if you do have one or you're getting one, let me just say, you've got to put a bit of weight onto it. Like, it's not an easy task. But it's so cute. Okay, I'm not going to be able to see that. I'll flip it and show you in a minute. But yeah, you can't see that for sure. Anyway, just thought I'd show you that. Also, hold on. Is there any mess? I hope not. I have been reading 6 Scorched Roses, and I'm enjoying it really much. I'm enjoying it really much. Very much. I'm really enjoying it. That's what I meant to say. And compared to this old brick that didn't have any plot, it is such a nice change of pace, because obviously it's a novella, so it's all happening straight away. I'm literally in chapter 4, 25 pages, and I'm very much enjoying it. I only have like 2.5 hours left. Obviously I'm not going to finish it tonight because it's 9 PM and I'm an early riser, so I go to bed quite early. So I'm going to get ready for bed in a minute, and yeah, I'll be finished. I'll have this finished by tomorrow. So, oh hi.
Oh, you can do this, sorry.
You can't even see you. Hold on.
Let you see. Hello.
Hi. Sorry, my brother came in and we were just speaking. But anyway, I don't think I had anything else to say. just that. I'm going to read this. Probably hopefully finish it by tomorrow. And yeah, also want to show you that I have one of these little fellas, and I will show you a thing of it also to ignore the state of me right now, because as I said, doing a workout class tomorrow and then I am washing my hair, and I'm excited to put this with all my red books, even though it was a disappointment, but like quite a big old boy, so happy days. Good morning, it is now Wednesday and I thought I'd quickly update whilst I'm on my lunch break, because I did start 6 Scorched Roses yesterday evening. I'm only 81 pages in, so I'm 42% in, nearly halfway, and I am so glad I picked this up because I'm absolutely loving this. I think I'm actually enjoying this more than I enjoyed the main book, because I don't know what it is, it's just hitting all the spots. I don't know if it's because obviously coming off the back of the Atlas Complex, obviously I don't want to go on about it, but I was disappointed, I was not having a good time. So this is just giving me everything I want and need right now, especially because it's so short, so fast paced. I don't have any time to really think when's something going to happen. Like I was for 500 pages prior, I'm now getting everything straight away, so I'm eating it up. If you're wondering what this novella is about, but you haven't read the first book, which is good point, I actually can't remember. I actually can't remember for the life of me. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, that's it. Why was I thinking it was like the Ballad of something? I don't know. Yeah, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which is the first book, and this is 1.5, so it's like the novella between book 1 and 2. This actually follows completely different characters, so it's not ruining anything, because in this you follow a girl called Lilith, unless I'm mistaken, but as far as I'm aware, whole new character. But this follows Lilith, who is a mortal girl, and her sort of town have sort of had this plague curse put on them, and everyone's dying. She's been told from basically since birth, she's been quite ill, and she knows she's not going to last very long. Like her life expectancy is quite short. It doesn't actually go into what happened or like why that is. Just from the very start, it says basically how death has always like walked beside her, and she's very aware of the fact that like her life won't be a long one. But we don't actually find out why that is. Well, we haven't currently, but basically her town has been basically cursed with the plague, and everyone is dying, and her sister is really unwell, her father's died. I think both her parents have actually passed away from this illness, and she decides she's going to try and help them and find a cure before obviously her time is up as well. She hasn't got the plague, but like obviously from the start she's been told she's not got very long to live. So she's trying to do that, she's researching and everything, and then she thinks vampire blood will help cure people, or at least give them some resistance to this plague. So she goes off into the sort of like woods and goes to this vampire called Vale. I think his name is Vale. If it's not, I'm so sure his name is Vale. Let me just check. Yes, Vale. So she goes off and finds him, and she basically conjures up a deal with him. So she's going to give him 1 rose for every month, and every month she'll come and get a few vials of his blood, and then she's going to experiment with the blood and try to find out a way to make it sort of go hand in hand for a cure, and it's sort of that kind of thing. But there's obviously like a romance blossoming, there's a bit of like tension, you can tell there's a bit of like angst between them and like sexual tension, but obviously currently nothing's happened, but I'm really enjoying it. I love their vibe together. I'm not obviously going to go into like anything that's plot wise that has happened because I don't want to ruin it, but that's basically the premise of it. So he's helping her out, she's helping him out, and in return she's giving him roses, and he doesn't know what they do, but she's saying, oh, like they're worthwhile, like you're gonna want them. And he's just got this vase of these roses that he obviously gets every time she comes to collect the blood every month, and he's sort of like, I don't know what they do, like they're not doing anything, what is going on? So I'm really intrigued to see what the roses symbolise, or if they are anything, because he's obviously saying, well, these could just be like a random rose, they could have no value at all, but she's like, no, they do. So I'm really intrigued to know about that. So there's a few little things I've got questions about, but I don't want to obviously say too much. But long story short, I'm really enjoying it. So I'm on my lunch break now, so I'm going to go and read, and yeah, hopefully I think I'll have this finished by the end of today though, because I've got like an hour and a half left, So yeah, it shouldn't take me too long, and then yeah, I'll hopefully have a positive update if it keeps going the way it is. I'm really enjoying it. Good evening, it is now Wednesday evening, god sorry I thought it was Thursday, and I have finished 6 Scorched Roses. I actually finished it about 20 minutes ago or so, so I thought I'd give it my review. I really loved it. I thought it was such a strong novella, and I'm really hoping we have a book about Lilith and Vale, because if we only get what that little tidbit is in the novella, I'm gonna cry. But bear in mind, I've only read the first Separate and the Wings of Night, and that novella, I haven't read the second one yet, so maybe they're to come, maybe I'm not aware of it yet, but I'm literally praying that we get more of them, because I absolutely loved the novella. I actually think I preferred this to the first book, but I did read the first book in 2023. I can't really remember much about it. I think I rated it like a 3.5, and this is a 4 stars for me, which for a novella, I felt like they were such fleshed out characters. I mean, the fact we got only 200 pages and I felt like they were fully fleshed out. I believed in them, I believed in their romance, I believed in their connection, I believed in just everything about the book. Within 200 pages, there's a lot about Carissa Broadbent's writing, because I was sat. Like, anytime I picked it up, flew through it, and I was here for it. So if you haven't read the novella, this is your sign to do so. Anyway, I think that is where I'm going to leave today's video. So to wrap up everything we've read in this reading vlog, obviously to start, we read Wildfire, which, as we all know, it was quite a disappointment for me. I was not vibing with it. It just was not my cup of tea at all, and I rated this one 2 stars. And then obviously, as we also know, I then read The Atlas Complex, which again was a bit of a disappointment. This one was a 3 stars purely because I quite like the characters, but yeah, this one was a letdown to a degree. And then luckily I did read this little novella, because I don't know what has happened to the screen, but the novella, because that was pretty much my saving grace, and this obviously was a 4 stars. So yeah, it was looking a bit like a negative reading vlog with these two to start with, so I'm glad we had something to end it on a bit of a high, because I was really worried after these 2 disappointments I was going to slump, because I was very close to just thinking, oh, I can't find anything. So I'm really glad I jumped in with the novella, but I am going to stop this video here. I definitely will probably do another continuing series. Obviously I'm still in the middle of, I still have Daydream for this one, which I do want to read because I've heard that one's better, so I'm really hoping that's the case. And then obviously I have completed this one, so we did complete 1 full series, and obviously I have 2 more in this one, so I think I will definitely film another series I'm in the middle of. Obviously I'm in more than just these ones, but yeah, I think for now I feel like I need to just mood read. I think I need to just, you know, do something else, but I'm definitely going to have another reading vlog out soon. I won't tell you like what it is yet, but just keep your eyes peeled. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these. How was your experience? Did you have any of the same reviews? How did you feel? Please let me know, because I'd be so intrigued to find out. And thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.